Hey guys, a very good morning to all of you. My name is Kriti and I'm a chartered accountant and I'm here to tell you about the chartered accountancy course. I'm sure all of you would have heard about this course, right? This is the course to go for when you are in the commerce field. So I'm going to tell you everything that I know about the chartered accountancy course, and based on the information you gain, you can figure out if you want to do CA going forward after your 12th standard. So I'm from Advait Learning and I will be taking 20 minutes of your time to tell you what this course contains. So let's look at the roadmap of the CA course. So guys, CA has three levels. It has three levels. So right now, all of you must be in your second PUC, correct? Giving your exams. I believe one exam is still pending. Once you are done with your exams, let's assume that in June 2020, you will be in your first year BCom. So if you take up the CA course, what are you supposed to do first? So the first level of the chartered accountancy course is known as CA Foundation. So if you want to take up CA Foundation, you can take up the exam in November 2020, which means between June 2020 and November 2020, the time that we have, we are going to utilize that time for studying for our foundation exam. The second level of CA is known as CA Intermediate. Now, CA Intermediate you can take in November 2021. So, we have almost 1 year between clearing foundation and taking up the CA Inter examination. And in that 1 year, we will be preparing for CA Intermediate. And finally, the last level of the chartered accountancy course, the biggest level, is known as CA Final. Now, CA Final you can take in November 2024, which means the time gap between intermediate and CA Final is 3 long years. So, do you know why we have 3 long years for clearing CA final? So I will let you know that in a while. Okay. So totally, how much time does the CA course take you to finish? So right now you are in the second PUC. You all must be 17 or 18 years of age. If you were to write your exam exactly like the way I have specified here, you would be around 22 or 23 by the time you finish this particular course. So the entire CA course takes you around 4 to 4.5 years to complete. So this is the roadmap of being a CA. Let me now take you into each level and understand what each level holds for us. So first we will look at CA Foundation because that is what we will be facing immediately. So CA Foundation, the first level. Now the CA Foundation level was earlier known as CPT. We don't have CPT anymore. You may have heard your seniors or friends saying CPT. Well, they're referring to CA Foundation. So CA Foundation has 4 subjects. Okay, how many? 4 subjects. So let's see what the subjects are. As you can clearly see here, we have accounting, we have law, we have mathematics, and we have economics. So most of these subjects are those subjects that we would have studied in our second PUC and first PUC, right? Out of these 4, law is new for everyone. So between the remaining 3, at least we would have studied 2 subjects, right? So that's why we say that CA Foundation is very similar to our 11th and 12th or first PUC and second PUC, because whatever portions you have studied in your 11th and 12th / first PU, second PU, the same portions repeat in CA Foundation. Okay, but the methodology of study in CA and in your 11th and 12th is obviously very, very different. Why? Because CA Foundation consists of 2 kinds of papers. The first kind is subjective, where you are expected to write answers for a given question. You're supposed to analyze, draw graphs, give diagrammatic representations. And the second type of paper is an objective examination, where you will be given MCQs and you will have to answer the correct MCQ. So now in foundation, we have both kinds of papers. So accounting and law is a subjective paper, and mathematics and economics is an objective examination. Now, each paper carries 100 marks. So the total marks that you will be attempting in CA Foundation is 400. 400. So what do you need to do to clear CA Foundation? Well, this is the criteria to clear CA Foundation. In each subject individually, you need to get a minimum of at least 40 out of 100 minimum. So if you get anything less than 40, you will be considered as fail. So 40% minimum in each subject, and overall, when you club all the subjects together, we need to get an aggregate of 200 out of 400, which is 50% of the total. So both these criteria have to be satisfied, guys. Only then you will be able to clear your CA Foundation. Okay. Now, this is all about CA Foundation. Moving on to the next scheme or the next level, which is intermediate, which was known as the IPCC course. So here I will not go too in depth. I will just brief you as to what this contains. So in IPCC, we have two groups, group 1 and group 2. We have 8 subjects, 4 subjects in each group. So again, here the passing criteria is absolutely the same. Each paper carries 100 marks. So that means you'll be attempting 800 marks. And the passing criteria is 40% in each subject and 50% overall. Here, because my overall marks are 800 marks, since I have 8 papers, 50% will be 400 marks. Okay, so the only thing I'd like to tell you about IPCC or the intermediate course is that most of the times we are asked to take up CA along with our BCom degree. This is the reason. The reason is that whatever subjects we study in degree, the same subjects we also have in our IPCC. So you do not have to duplicate your efforts. You can study both simultaneously. Okay. Now moving on to the last level, the CA final level. Again, the same scheme continues. We have 8 subjects divided into 2 groups, 4 subjects per group. Each subject carries 100 marks, and the passing criteria is absolutely the same, which is you need to get 40% in each subject and 50% overall. Here the overall is also 800 marks, so 50% will be 400 marks. So this is your CA final. The subjects that you study in IPCC, the same subjects repeat in CA final, but obviously at a more advanced level. Okay, so this is about each level independently and the subjects that each level has. Now, if you remember, when I started off with this presentation, I told you that there was a time gap of 3 years between IPCC and CA final. And I told you that I will get back to it later. Well, this is the reason why we have a time gap of 3 long years. So the ICAI, what is the ICAI? The Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, okay, which is the statutory body conducting the chartered accountancy exams, has given us 3 long years where we need to gain as much knowledge, that is practical knowledge and expertise, by working under a practicing chartered accountant. And that period will be called as your articleship period. Okay, so that's why we have 3 years between IPCC and CA final. So is this period important? Of course, it is very important. Just imagine if you had no choice but to go to a doctor who has never worked on a human body for surgery. How would you feel? Of course, you would be terrified, right? So articleship is just like that. This is the period where you gain a lot of knowledge, practical exposure, which is going to help you later once you become a chartered accountant. So what is the starting salary of a chartered accountant? Well, the starting salary of a chartered accountant ranges between 8.5 lakhs and 15 lakhs per annum. So once you become a CA, imagine you're 17 now, you clear the exam just like the way you were supposed to clear as per the roadmap. By the time you're 22, 23, you are a chartered accountant looking for your first job. That is what you get offered when you join your job for the first time. So the salaries range between that those numbers which have been given here. So let me show you what the scope of a chartered accountant looks like. Okay. Okay. So coming back to the coaching structure at Advait Learning, uh, the first thing you need to know is that there are two kinds of registrations that you need to do. The first registration will be at ICAI. I already told you that ICAI stands for the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. It is the statutory body which conducts the CA examination. So anybody who wishes to do chartered accountancy has to first register with the institute. So if you are registering with the institute, the fee for registration is 9,200, which you will have to pay at the institute itself. It is not before March 31st, it is before June 30th. So if you want to write your examination in November 2020, you will have to ensure that your registration process with ICAI is completed before June 30th, 2020. Okay, so that is the first kind of registration. The second kind of registration now we come to the part where you need to take coaching for CA Foundation. That is where Advait Learning steps in. Okay, so our fee is 25,500, which you can pay in two installments. So the first installment is 15,500, which you can pay on registration with us, and the second installment you can pay as classes progress. So before June 30th, you can pay the remaining 10,000 rupees as your second installment. So the total fee for the foundation course, that is including your coaching, your ICAI registration, all your books, study materials, everything, comes up to 34,700. So now what does coaching include? So you are going to be trained for almost 450 plus hours, because each subject is very vast, very, very in-depth. We have rank holder faculties who will be coming and training y'all. They have a very rich experience in the field of teaching as well as corporate exposure. So you will have your training for almost 450 plus hours. You will have regular tests and assessments, and at the end we will also be giving you all mock tests which will be corrected and submitted to you with your mistakes highlighted so that you can work on where you have gone wrong. We will be there as trainers to guide you, to mentor you as and when required. You do not have to worry about that. Okay, so these are the things which will be included in your coaching structure. Okay, and if y'all have any doubts, any clarifications, you can visit our website or you can call us on any of these numbers which have been mentioned here. Your classes for foundation will be starting on the 15th of May. And the timetable for the entire course will be given to you in the first 2 or 3 days of your classes, as to which subject will be handled when. The class timings will be from 3:30 to 7:30 in the evening. So you can attend your college, and once your college gets over, you can have lunch, relax for a bit, and then come to your class. And classes will be in our center, which is in Malleshwaram 7th Cross, and they will start on time. Okay, one more point I would like to add, guys. CA is one of the most reasonable courses, all put together. That is your CA Foundation, CA IPCC, CA Final, all your books and all the expenses that you're going to be incurring towards this course will not exceed more than 1.5 lakhs, all put together. And also in the 3-year period where you're going to be doing your articleship, you're obviously going to get your stipend, so that 1.5 lakhs you will recover way, before you actually become a chartered accountant. So you do not need to worry about this, and the return on this course is enormous because you've seen the range of the starting salary. So do give it a thought, and if you're interested, we will always be available. You can take consultation or counseling on these numbers on WhatsApp, or if you would like to talk to us, we will also be available on these numbers over the phone. We can counsel your parents directly if they would be interested. We would also be available on a video conferencing call via Zoom. So if you are interested, you could drop in an inquiry to any of these numbers and we would set up the Zoom call where we would be giving a personal counseling to you and your parents. And if you have any doubts or inquiries, you can ask us then and there. So all the best, guys. Have a great day and think about it, and do ping us if there is anything. Take care. Bye bye.